Hello everyone, M.DAMALIE here. Are you gearing up to take the SAFe Product Manager exams and you're feeling overwhelmed by the vast amount of topics you need to master? Worry not, because I've got you covered. In today's special episode, we are diving deep into 45 top questions that frequently show up in the SAFe Product Manager or Product Owner exams. But that's not all. I'm going to share unbeatable strategies on how to crack these questions and sail through your exams with flying colors. So let's get started. Question number 1. Which SAFe core value is demonstrated when avoid asking teams to commit to their PI objective in a sleep-deprived state? So the answer here is respect for people and culture. This is because asking teams to make commitment when they are not well rested can lead to burnout, poor decision making, and ultimately a decrease in productivity. By respecting the people and culture of the organization, leaders can create a more sustainable and a successful agile environment. The core values of SAFe are also important, but they do not specifically address the issue of sleep deprivation. Transparency is about sharing information openly and honestly. And then relentless improvement is about continuously seeking ways to do things better. And alignment is about ensuring that everyone is working towards the same goal. So the answer here is respect for people and culture. So let's go to question number 2. What is the main objective of the system demo in SAFe? Here, the answer is showcase completed feature to stakeholders. So the system demo is a key event in SAFe that allows the Agile teams to showcase completed features to key stakeholders. The system demo is typically held at the end of each iteration, and it provides an opportunity for stakeholders to see the progress that has been made and to prevent or to provide feedback. Question number 3. What is one area of task for a product owner in managing and prioritizing the team backlog? So for this question, the answer here is support architectural runway. According to the official documentation, the tasks of the PO in managing and prioritizing the team backlog are guide story creation, prioritize backlog items, accept stories, and then also support architectural runway, which is the answer. So now let's go to question number 4. What is one role of the product management? This question, so connecting with the customer, supporting the team in delivering value, managing and prioritizing the team backlog, and getting it built. So here, the answer here is connecting with the customer. Product management is responsible for understanding the customer's needs and translating those needs into features and functionality. This requires product managers to have a deep understanding of the customer, their plans, their pain points, and their goals. In the official exams, you will have several questions of this type, so you must master the role of responsibility of product management. I try to cover all of this in the different practical exams that I'm going to link into the comment section below. Question number 5. What is one goal of the iteration review? So one goal of the iteration review is to receive feedback on the increment. As we all know, the iteration review is a cadence-based event in the SAFe Agile development process. It is held at the end of each iteration to assess progress, gather stakeholders' feedback, and make necessary adjustments for continuous improvement. The primary goal of the iteration review is to receive feedback on the increment, and so the answer here is to receive feedback on the increment. Let's move on to the next question. Which statement accurately describe the SAFe backlog model? The answer here is features are in the at backlog. In SAFe or the Scale Agile framework backlog model, features are placed in the Agile release train at backlog. Features are smaller units of functionality that can be implemented within a single planning interval or PI and derive from the higher level capabilities defined in solution backlog. Here is the breakdown of the model. We have the portfolio backlog, contains epics, which are large initiative or bodies of work that needs to be broken down further for implementation. And we also have the solution train backlog, contain capabilities, which are higher level of set of features that are essential for achieving the large solution objectives. And we also have the agile release train at backlog, which contains the features that are specific to the agile release train. These features are prioritized and selected during the PI planning and represent the work that will be accompanied by the ads during a planning interval. The last one is the team backlog. It contains user stories which are derived from the selected features during PI planning. User stories are smaller units of work and what the agile team work on during the iteration or sprint. So for your context, this so that's why the answer is agile release train at backlog. Question number 7. The ads planning board includes the following other than the team names and iteration. So the answer here is milestone, features, and dependencies. According to the SAFe model, ads planning board highlighting the new features, delivery date, feature dependency among teams, and relevant milestones. Some tips for teams on how to use the ads planning board effectively. Keep the ads planning board up to date. Use the ads planning board to identify and track dependencies, and use the ads planning board to stay aligned and to work towards the same goals. Question number 8. Why is it important to establish a definition of done? So the answer here is to create alignment on when stories are complete, and the definition of done requires that the story satisfies the acceptance criteria and is accepted by the PO. This is important for several reasons: to help to ensure that the work is highly quality, and it helps to avoid scope creep, and it also helps to improve communication between teams. So that's it for that question. Let's move on to the next question. Question number 9. Which tool shows dependencies during PI planning? The correct answer here is the ads planning board, and it's a tool used during PI planning to show the dependencies between features and teams. It is visual representation of the work that will be done in the upcoming PI, and it helps to ensure that everyone is aligned on the plan. The ads planning board typically includes the following information: the feature that will be delivered in the PI, the teams that will be working on each of the feature, the dependency between features, the risks associated with each feature as well. So let's move on to the next question. And if you guys are wondering what the program board looks like, this is how it looks like. So question number 10. What is one of the outcome of the iteration retrospective? So the answer is to improvement items in the team's backlog. The iteration retrospective is a meeting held at the end of each iteration to reflect on the work that was done and to identify areas of improvement. The goal for the iteration retrospective is to continuously improve the way the team works and deliver better value to the customer. Next question is, when explaining why the top 10 features were chosen for PI planning, which SAFe core value is demonstrated? The answer here is transparency. Transparency is the practice of sharing information openly and honestly. It is important for building trust and collaboration, and it is essential for effective decision making. And when planning why the top 10 features were chosen for PI planning, the team is sharing information about their priorities and their plan. This transparency allows other teams and stakeholders to understand the team's goals and to make informed decisions about how to support the team. The other SAFe core values are also important, but they are not directly related to this situation. Question number 12. What system delivers a product or service to a customer? And the answer here is operational value stream. A value stream is a set of activities that are performed to create a product or a service that is valuable to the customer. The operational value stream is the part of the value stream that is responsible for delivering the product or service to the customer. So let's move on to the question number 13. How do Agile teams carry out continuous delivery pipeline activities during the PI? The answer here is they explore, integrate, deploy, release new value during each iteration. Continuous Delivery Pipeline CDP is a set of practice that enables teams to deliver software changes frequently and reliable. It involves the following step: exploration. This is the process of gathering requirements, prototyping new features, and experimenting with different ideas. Integration. This is the process of bringing together the different components of a software system and making sure that they work together. And we go on to the next steps, which is deployment. This is the process of making a software systems available in production. And we go on to the release on demand. This is the process of making a software system available to audience and make sure to preserve solution stability and enduring value long after release. Question number 14. What, after addressing risks during the PI planning in PI race, what activity follows? The activity that follows in this question is the confidence vote. During PI planning, after identifying risks and impediments that could impact the ability to meet the PI objectives, these risks are resolved one by one. The risks are discussed and addressed with honesty and transparency in PI risk activity. The activity that happens after the risk, the confidence vote. This can also show up in some interviews, so maybe you can take note too. Question 15. When should Agile teams make time for innovation? Good question. The answer here is continuous throughout the PI. In SAFe Agile, teams should make time for innovation continuously throughout the PI. Innovation is a key part of the Agile mindset. Agile teams should be constantly looking for ways to improve their product and services and to find new ways to meet the needs of their customer. Question number 16. What is one anti-pattern related to system demo? So the answer here is team demos are accepted in a place of system demo to avoid redundancy. A system demo is a key event in SAFe that allows the Agile teams to showcase completed features to stakeholders. The system demo is typically held at the end of each iteration, and it provides an opportunity for stakeholders to see the progress of the work that has been made and to provide feedback. One anti-pattern related to system demo is to accept teams demo in place of system demo. This can lead to a number of problems such as lack of visibility. Stakeholders may not get a complete picture of the progress that has been made if they only see team demos, and inconsistency. The quality of the demos may vary from team to team, which can make it difficult for stakeholders to get consistent view of the product, and also risks of missing important features. If the team demos are not well planned, it is possible that important features may not be demoed to stakeholders. So these are some of the things that you might take note for the system demo. Let's move on to question number 17. What is one of the characteristics of writing effective PI objective? The answer here is describing value. PI objective are statements that describe the value that the teams intends to deliver in a planning interval or PI. So let's move on to question number 18. The release train engineer or the RTE works with the product manager to manage risks, prioritize feature and functionality, track progress, and all of the proposition. So the answer here is all of the proposition. The RTE works with the product manager to prioritize features and functionalities, manage risks, and track progress. Here is a brief explanation of each of the options. Prioritize features and functionality to ensure that the app is working on the right feature and functionality and that they are delivered in the right order. And manage risks to identify and manage risks that could impact the delivery of the app. Track progress. The RTE tracks the progress of the app and provide regular updates to the product manager as well. One tips that I'll give you, it should be noted that in the official exams you will not have any questions concerning the roles of the RTE or the Scrum Master or the SM, but you may have one or two questions concerning the relations between the PO and then the Scrum Master, or the PM and then the RTE. What is one anti-pattern? Question number 19. What is one anti-pattern of the inspect and adapt? So the answer here is product owners present all of the work in the PI system demo. The inspect and adapt is a crucial event for teams to reflect on their performance and identify areas for improvement. The PI system demo is the first part of the inspect, and that's where teams demonstrate the work that they have completed during the planning interval. However, it is important for the product owners to avoid presenting all of the work themselves. This can be overwhelming for stakeholders and make it difficult for them to focus on their most important information. Instead, product owners should focus on presenting the most important highlights and to allow the teams to participate and present the details. Question number 20. Which role does the product manager works with to prioritize enablers? And the answer here is the system architect. According to the SAFe POPM workbook, product management collaborates with the system architect to prioritize enablers for the art backlog, and product owners work with system architect also to prioritize enablers for the team backlog. If you're wondering what enablers are backlog items that extend the architectural runway of the solution and the development or improve the performance of the development value stream. Enablers are captured in the backlog as a type of epic capability, feature, or story. They are used primarily for exploration, architectural implementation, refactoring, building infrastructure, and addressing compliance. While their type is unique, they are managed similarly to customer-facing backlog item as well. The system architect is responsible for the overall architecture of the system that the teams are building. They have a deep understanding of the system, technical and challenges and dependencies as well. Let's move on to the next question. Question 21. What is the recommended time box for the PI system demo? So the recommended time for this answer is 45 to 60 minutes. So let's move to the next question. What is the one method for designing the end-to-end customer experience? The answer here is journey mapping. Journey mapping is a method for understanding the customer's experience with a product or a service. It involves mapping out the customer's journey from start to finish, identifying the touch points that they have with the product or service, and understanding their needs and expectation at each touch point. Journey mapping is a very powerful tool for designing the end-to-end customer experience because it helps them to ensure that the product or service is meeting their customer needs at every stage of their journey. Question 23. During the iteration review, what is one activity performed by an Agile team? The answer here is demonstrate a working, tested team increment. The iteration review is an opportunity for Agile teams to demonstrate the work they have completed in the iteration. This includes showing a working tested increment of the product to stakeholders and getting their feedback. Let's move on to the next question. What is the recommended format for writing user story? The recommended structure for writing user story is as a user, I want to, so that. This structure is known as the 3 ACT user story. The first act is the as a statement, which identifies the persona who will be using the feature. The second act is I want statement, which describes the functionality of the feature. And the third act, so that, the statement which describes the business value of the feature. Let's move on to the next question, which is question number 25. What is one benefit of capacity allocation? The answer here is it prevents different types of backlog items from being compared against each other. Capacity allocation is the process that helps to balance functionality with architectural runway. It helps alleviate velocity degradation due to technical debt, keep existing customers happy with back faces and enhancement. Also, can change an iteration or PI boundaries. One benefit of capacity allocation is that it prevents different types of backlog items from being compared against each other. Let's move on to the next question. What is one method to establish a team's velocity? The answer here is compare the average story point completed throughout the previous iteration. Velocity is a measure of how much work a team can complete in a single iteration. It is calculated by averaging the number of story points completed in previous iteration. To establish a team's velocity, you will need to gather the data on the number of story points completed in previous iteration, calculate the average number of story points completed per iteration, and use the average number of story points completed per iteration to estimate the team's velocity. The other options are not correct method to establish the team's velocity. Question number 27. Which of the following events align teams on trend? The answer is PI planning. PI planning is a 2-day event that serves as the heartbeat of Agile release train. This event aligns all the team on the art at the shared mission and vision. It is during PI planning that the teams create a plan for delivering the PI objectives and goal. Question number 28. What is the primary purpose of continuous exploration process in SAFe? The answer here is to discover, explore new product opportunities, and identify emerging business and technical trend. Continuous exploration, CE, is a process in SAFe that used to discover and explore new products opportunity. It is iterative and incremental process that involves gathering feedback from stakeholders, prototyping new features, and iterating on the product based on the feedback. Which statement describes the Scale Agile framework? It synchronizes alignment, collaboration, and delivery for large numbers of items. That is the right answer. The Scale Agile framework is a framework for scaling Agile development to large organizations. And it provides a set of principles, practices, and roles that help teams to work together effectively and deliver value to the customer. Question number 30. Which statement describes an own at PI risk? Someone has taken the responsibility of the risk. That is the answer. An own at PI risk is a risk that has been identified and a specific person or a team has taken ownership of it. This means that the person or a team is responsible for monitoring the risk, taking action if it occurs, and reporting on its status. Question number 31. What is one way Kanban boards are used in SAFe? The answer here is to manage WIP limit. Kanban boards are visualized tools that can be used to manage work in progress or WIP limits. WIP limits are a way of controlling the amount of work that is in progress at any given time. This helps to ensure that the team is not overloaded and that the work is being completed in a timely manner. In SAFe, Kanban boards are used to manage WIP limits at the team level, the PI planning interval level, and the portfolio level. At the team level, the Kanban boards are used to track the progress of the work items that are moved throughout the development process. At the PI level, the Kanban board are used to track progress of features and enablers as they are delivered over the course of the PI. And at the portfolio level, the Kanban board are used to track the progress of the entire product portfolio. Question number 32. What is the main value of the backlog refinement? The main value of the backlog refinement is the answer here is team prepares requirement for iteration planning. So backlog refinement is a collaborative event where the product owner works with the team to clarify, estimate, and prioritize the backlog items. The purpose of the backlog refinement is to ensure that the backlog is ready for iteration planning, which is the event where teams commit to a set of goals to be delivered in the next iteration. This means that the team should have a good understanding of the requirements for each items in the backlog, and they should have estimated the effort required to complete each item. Backlog refinement is also a good opportunity for the team to identify and resolve any dependencies between items in the backlog. This will help to ensure that the team is able to deliver the work in timely and effective manner. Question number 33. What questions helps product management in creating vision? The answer here is, what problems will the solution solve? A vision is a statement of what the product aspires to be. It is a high level description of the product's purpose or goal. The vision should be clear, concise, and aspirational. The question, what problems will the solution solve, is one of the most important questions that product management can ask when creating vision. This question helps to ensure that vision is a focus on solving a real problem for the customer. The other options are not helpful in creating a vision. Question number 34. What is one influence on solution and PI roadmap? The answer here is market dynamics. According to SAFe POPM workbook, market dynamics are the forces that shape the market, such as customer needs, competitor activity, and technological changes. This dynamic can have a significant impact on the solution and the PI roadmap, as they can influence the features that are prioritized, the way that the product is delivered, and the overall strategy for the product. Moving on to the next question. The product manager makes weekly visits to the customer site. Which two Agile manifesto values support this behavior? The answer here is customer collaboration over contract negotiation, and also individuals' interactions over processes and tools. The Agile manifesto values are individuals' interactions over processes and tools, working software over comprehensive documentation, customer collaboration over contract negotiation, and responding to change over following a plan. The product manager's weekly visits to the customer site supports the values of individuals' interaction over processes and tools, and customer collaboration over contract negotiation. Individuals' interaction over processes and tools means that the product manager values face-to-face communication with the customer over relying on documentation on tools. This is supported by the product manager's weekly visits to the customer side, where they can build relationship with the customer and get a better understanding of their needs. And also the last one is customer collaboration over contract negotiation. This means that the PM values working with the customer to understand their needs and to deliver a product that meets those needs. This is supported also by the PM's visit, where they can get feedback on the product and make changes as needed. Question number 36. What is the purpose of solution vision in SAFe? The answer here is to provide a higher level overview of the product or solution. The solution vision is a high level description of the product's purpose and goals. It is created by the program management with the contribution of the product owners, which evolves from customer feedback. It is used to guide the development of the product. One thing that you have to take note is the vision is not used to define the team's long-term goals, prioritize the ad backlog, or outline the specific goal for the for the current PI. Question number 37. During the PI planning, Agile teams estimate user storage using story points. What estimation technique is commonly used to estimate epics in SAFe? The answer here is t-shirt sizing. Estimating epics can be challenging in the early stage. T-shirt sizing is a relative estimation technique that uses the size of a t-shirt to estimate the size of epics. Epics are sized as small, medium, large, or extra large. This technique is often used in conjunction with story points to provide a more granular estimate of the size of. Question number 38. According to SAFe, What is the recommended first step of iteration planning? The answer here is to establish capacity. According to SAFe, the recommended first step of iteration planning is to establish capacity. This means that the team needs to determine how much work they can realistically complete during the upcoming iteration. This can be done by considering the team size, experiences, and velocity. Once the team has established their capacity, they can then begin to plan the iteration. And here are the steps according to SAFe: documentation, establish capacity, story analysis and estimation, detailed stories, developing iteration goals, and committing to the iteration goal. What is one responsibility of the product owner during team sync? To clarify story points. That is the right answer. In SAFe POPM workbook, it is mentioned that one of the responsibility of the product owner during team sync is to clarify story intent. This means that the PO should be available to answer any question that the team has about the stories that they are working on. The PO should also be prepared to provide additional context or information about the stories as needed. Question number 40. Which of the following is not a good practice when working with epics? The answer here is assigning them to a single team. Epics are typically too large and complex to be assigned to a single team. They should be broken down into smaller features that can be assigned to different teams. Here are some of the reasons why assigning epics to a single team is not a good practice. It can lead to bottlenecks in the development process. It can make it difficult to coordinate work between different teams. It can make it difficult to track progress and identify risks. Instead, epics should be broken down into smaller features that can be assigned to different teams. This will help to ensure that the work is completed in a timely and efficient manner. Question number 41. Who are important attendees to the PI system demo? The answer here is the business owners. So the business owners are important attendees in the PO system demo. The PI system demo is an objective opportunity for the team in Agile release train to demonstrate the work that they have completed during the PI planning interval to stakeholders. The business owners are the people who are responsible for the success of the arts product and services. They are the ones who have the best understanding of the business needs and the customer requirements. By attending the PI system demos, business owners can see the progress that the teams are making and provide feedback on the work that is being done. Question number 42. What does SAFe Team Kanban promote? The answer here is collaboration. Team Kanban is a lightweight framework that helps teams deliver value to customers quickly and efficiently, and it does this by promoting collaboration between team members, stakeholders, and customers. Question number 43. What is the primary purpose of PO Sync? The answer here is to assess progress of the planning interval or the PI and adjust scope and priorities as needed, So the PO Sync is a meeting that is held between the product owners of an Agile release train to assess progress of the PI and adjust scope and priorities as needed. It is critical meeting for ensuring that the product or the ads are on track and to achieve the PI objective as well. Question number 44. What is the purpose of the iteration goals? What is the purpose of iteration goals? The answer here is to align team members to a common purpose. The iteration goals are key parts of the SAFe model. They are used to align team members to a common purpose for each iteration and to ensure that everyone is working towards the same goals. Iteration goals should be specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound as well. Here are some examples of good iteration goals. Deploy the new user interface by the end of the iteration. Complete the integration of the new feature with the existing system. Reduce the number of bugs in the product by 10%, etc. The last question is, in PI planning, what is the responsibility of the product owner? So the answer here is to communicate the product vision and roadmap to the development teams. You know, the product owner is responsible for communicating the product vision and roadmap to the development teams. The product vision is a high level description of the product that the PO wants to create. The product roadmap is more detailed plan for how the product will be delivered. The PO needs to communicate this to the development team so that they understand what they are working towards. So that's it, folks. These are 45 questions that normally comes in the SAFe POPM exams. Make sure you pause the video, go back to it, review it, and after going through this, I assure you that you will pass the exams. Thanks for watching, and if you like this video, make sure you subscribe and also like this video as well.